As the excitement of the holidays begins to fade, so do community donations to causes that provide relief every day to children and adults in need. Joanne Batson is Executive Director of the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia. Reina Rios is a family services worker for Norfolk Adult Protective Services, and Lynn Berg is Executive Director for Prime Plus Norfolk Senior Center. And they have come together to help us remember that giving really is a year-round thing, and that after the holidays, don't forget.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think is really important to know is that even though the holidays represent a time of festive food-oriented events, that hunger goes on day in and day out. And in our community, we have over 120,000 people who are retirement age.
Wow.
So that's all of Hampton Roads. And of that number, about 15,000 of them are very much below the poverty level and struggling every day to try and find adequate food. 1 in 5 seniors in our community is food insecure.
Wow. 1 in 5.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know a senior if we're not one already.
That's exactly right.
So it can be you, it can be me, it can be any of us.
Or your grandmother, or your mom,
That's
or
right.
your aunts and uncles.
Somebody you know.
Exactly.
Somebody you know is affected by it. And Reina, in Adult Protective Services, you're dealing with people who may have been involved in your services because of issues of neglect or other things, exploitation and such, but people who do need some kind of assistance with just getting through.
That's right. That's right. We do work with a lot of the population who is either low income or has some physical or mental impairment and thus are unable to obtain the food for such reasons. So we do assist with that as well.
You do a food drive at, within your unit, and a lot of that is, you know, at the beck and call of, you know, anybody in the public that might want to donate, but certainly among employees and such. So now you do your part to raise awareness.
Correct.
Of
Yeah.
this need.
Yeah, we do annual food drives to benefit our Adult Protective Services clients. That food is then used for our emergency supplies, food supply. So in the event that an Adult Protective Services worker comes out and observes that there's a need in the home for additional food, and the worker will personally deliver that food to the clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would not be an unusual situation, would it not?
No, it is very common.
Yeah. So, I mean, the need is there. Sometimes it's not in front of us.
I think one of the things we forget is that in most people's budget, the amount of money that's set aside for groceries might be the only discretionary wiggle room they have if a crisis comes up or if there's a shortfall due to some other reason. For instance, maybe your utilities are higher because you need to be warmer in the winter months, and so your bills go up. Well, what's going to happen there? If you're on a fixed income, you really have to make some tough choices. And often that grocery money is one way that they're able to make ends meet. And unfortunately, the health impacts are really severe. And not only do we find people with problems with not being able to take medications properly because they're not eating the food that they need to digest and to work with those medications, but we also see people doing self-neglect. By not making certain that they're getting the food that they need, they can have horrible crises that occur, and we want to prevent those.
Right, and that's something that Reina and her staff would definitely see a lot of. Prime Plus Norfolk Senior Center, where Lynn is Executive Director, also provides congregate meals through there,
right.
and that requires, you know, food that meets certain standards,
Right, exactly.
and provides the correct balance of nutritional items and what have you to feed people who may find that these meals are the best way for them to go, but it also puts them in a social environment, which is very important.
Well, and it's extremely important because the networking is really critical, and also we have support for people who are food insecure so that they're able to find the resources and get connected to them. Our meal program is offered through grants, and there are a small donation. People over the age of 60 qualify for the program. They're able to make a donation based on their income. This money comes to us from Southeastern Senior Services of Southeastern Virginia. We also have funding from the city as well, and what we are doing with that is we are trying to help people take better care of themselves so they're not in hospitals, they're not falling along the wayside and then maybe losing their independence.
And the whole idea of providing food can be a community-wide effort too. And Joanne Batson with the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia, certainly they distribute, collect, and also are a distribution point. Is that how that works?
Absolutely. We have 400 agencies throughout our service area
400
that we collect food for, and then it ends up at the congregate meals, or depending on what the situation is. We actually take a mobile pantry to a low-income area and where seniors are living on subsidized living. We've seen our numbers go up 3% in the last years.
Wow.
And about 16% of the people we serve, and we did over 15 million meals out of our one location last year, but 16% were seniors. And that's only going to increase because I believe the statistic is 10,000 people turn 65 every day.
That's right.
Between now and 2030.
That's correct.
Baby boomers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boom
And
is
a lot
right.
of them are going to be living on fixed income, Social Security, and we all know that doesn't quite work out.
No, it doesn't, because the cost of living is unpredictable for
And
most
keeps
of
going
us.
up.
Correct. Yeah.
It does. It never does go down,
That's
does
right.
it? So we have that to think of, and of course what you provide to the community is invaluable. I don't think people realize the sheer volume of
Well,
traffic,
sadly,
so to
I
speak,
would
that you
love to be on the show and say, guess what, Jan? Our numbers went down last year, but we're not seeing that. And even with the economic turnaround that we're hoping for, the majority of these people, maybe they lost their job in the Great Recession that we just went through. They haven't gotten it back. Maybe they were 60 years old when that happened. Now they're 65 and 66. They've maybe gotten their kids out of college. They've gone through their savings. Hopefully they haven't lost their home. But we're seeing people walk through our doors that are dressed like all of us here going, I never thought I would be in this situation. And they're not going to get it back. That's the sad part.
It is the sad part. The good part is that there is a resource that is available for people, but that resource relies much with a lot on the community itself and the people who live here. Those who do have a little bit more to give, and having the opportunity to maybe share a little bit of that.
One of the things that we see all the time that just touches your heart is people will come in and they'll have a bag of groceries, and they're not the people of wealth. They're people that have been there. And as little as they have, they want to share it with people that are worse off.
Okay. Well,
So we have an incredible community here.
Yes, we do.
So
That's
people-
absolutely the truth. And the partnerships that we forge to make sure that we're meeting the needs are really invaluable. And without the food bank, we wouldn't be able to keep the meal costs affordable, and we wouldn't be able to then serve as many people as we do. So that has been just a boon to us. We did almost 15,000 meals last year for seniors out of our congregate meal site.
And we couldn't feed them without
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys. So it's very
It
intricate
takes the
network.
whole community. It does. But it takes the whole community year round. And I think that's something we need to really remind folks of, is that the holidays are a wonderful time for remembering others, but we should continue that thought and that thinking throughout the year. We know that the children who are dependent on the meal programs in their schools need meals during the summer months. We know that elderly continue to need food long after the holidays are over, as well as others.
Right, and those in crisis who are receiving services and support because they are not able to help themselves. Certainly, you don't know when that's going to happen because it happens every day.